Hits we play, the more hits we get. URLradio.net. Stacey Sturm down here at Standing Rock, and we are at the Defenders Camp right now, and we're with Lisa. And Lisa, what is your group called again?
Our group is called Fort Berthold Power, Protectors of Water and Earth Rights.
And you guys are out of Mandaree, is that correct, or that area?
Just the whole Fort Berthold, but mostly of our members are Mandaree.
Okay. Yes. And so then, what brought you into here? What made you guys decide to come down here?
It just feels great to be united.
You've been kind of fighting a fight by yourselves for a long time.
My husband and I, we've been doing this since about 2008.
Yeah.
2010 really been active because we knew of the environmental impact it was having on us, and we were trying to be proactive, awareness and all these things and educate our people, but it took us quite some time for people to understand. Now today we are where we're at.
Yeah.
Where we have been saying all this time what was gonna happen, what's happening in Pennsylvania, what's happening in Texas, all over, it's gonna be here.
Yeah.
And it got here.
Yeah.
So with this Dakota Access Pipeline, opposing it, we have been opposing this Dakota Access Pipeline since the beginning, about 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And the very first public comments were in the Bakken region, and we attended many of those public comment periods, and we actually testified with the Army Corps of Engineers several times. NEPA, we requested for an environmental impact statement. We did all those things, and then our land is trust. So we wanted all that to be, we wanted it all. Wait, no, maybe if I put my, she's taking pictures of me because it's for the paper too. I'm standing here like a muscle woman. No, I'm kidding.
You're strong, Lisa. Flex, baby. Well, here's the thing. I was talking with Charisse. Now, a lot of us have heard of like the Keystone Pipeline and how that's been opposed and debated so much. It seems to me, and the Dakota Access Pipeline just kind of snuck up on everybody.
Yeah.
We didn't hear about it hardly at all until now. Yeah.
Well, we have heard about it several times, and so every time that they had a public, like I said, public hearing in Kildare, they had one in Garrison, and we knew of the spills that were happening, and not with only pipelines, but also with the actual site itself. And so when we got to Garrison, it was proof to us when Army Corps of Engineers came. The lady before me that stood up said, I seen a spill every day, and I felt so hurt. I quit because they weren't cleaning it up.
Yeah.
And so as I got stood up and I told them, I said National Environmental Justice Council, and I explained to them what, NEPA, all that. And here she came up to me after that meeting and said it was Mandaree where I seen spill every day. And our Mandaree is the biggest oil and gas extracted community, along with Four Bears, but on Fort Berthold.
Yeah.
And so dealing with it, and we still don't have nothing in Mandaree. I mean, with more money and more problems. So a lot of that comes the social issues, the drug increase, all that.
Crime,
gambling,
drugs, prostitution, human trafficking.
Yes, all that is just it's on the increase, and nobody's addressing the issue. I mean, my husband and I did a needs assessment for Mandaree, and we were trying to address the issues. But we gave it to the chairman. We've given it to our, to the people who need it, who should be taking action on these things. But nothing's ever become of it, because they're dealing with the oil and gas when they shouldn't be dealing with oil and gas. It should totally be a whole group of people, a committee, dealing with oil and gas.
Yeah.
And so here they are making these decisions for us when some of them aren't even impacted by oil and gas. We have a community, White Shield, over there on the other side that don't have no oil and gas at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then he gets to vote on us for us.
Yeah.
And so same with Bismarck. The people up there making decisions for us.
Yeah.
And then they act like this Dakota Access Pipeline. Well, we already have 20 pipelines under the lake. Yeah, we do, but we don't want no more in there because today's pipelines are probably not as sturdy as 20 years ago. Mm-hmm. Because you have the XL pipeline that broke, that was only a couple of years old. You have the million-gallon Bryan Spill pipeline that was behind Mandaree that broke, and it was only 2 years old. Then you have the other one that broke in Yellowstone. Yeah. These pipelines were just built, and we don't even have enough inspectors to inspect them throughout the state or throughout our tribe. Mm-hmm. We only have 17 inspectors. How are you going to go and inspect 30,000 wells and 20 pipelines?
Oh, I know. I have a friend. His job was to just inspect like the rigs, make sure they're running safely, and he goes, after a while you just shake your head and you walk away. You just like, you can't even.
But you know, eventually all those spills they do, and when it spills, it rains, it pours, downpours, it goes back to the lake.
It all leaches back in.
So where our water is contaminated. Without water we can't survive. Water is life, water is sacred to us. Everything, the whole earth, Mother Earth, was our purpose to protect. And it's not happening. Our tribal council, we only have one tribal councilman who's like really against what's happening, and that's the Forebears councilman. Yeah. And he has proven his support for our Modern Day Warriors youth group that was just created, you know, and they did this walk that Walter was talking about.
Yeah.
And I mentor them. They asked me to mentor them, so I asked them, you know, is it only the pipelines you want to worry about? Just this pipeline, or is it everything else you want to? Because we're fighting 50 picocuries today. Radioactive waste, and we're going to have 7 of them all the way around us here that are being proposed. You know, I mean, we get to comment on all these things, but they don't listen. They're going to make decisions because they always vote in the well-being of the industry.
Yeah, the comment portion's almost just kind of like a pat on the head.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks for your input. We appreciate it.
That's all it's been. And then we have this health board lady over here sitting on. Oh, she was just on the other day, and we were at that Dakota Access Pipeline hearing in Kildare in 2015. And she goes and says, "Well, now we have to go buy gas to get home." You know, kind of making those remarks like that.
Right, like, yeah, we all enjoy the perks of oil, but yeah.
So that's, you know, and I really didn't get, you know, you're making decisions for us.
Yeah.
And you're acting like you don't even care.
Right.
I mean, we're all connected some way, somehow, and you breathe the same air as I do. You know, we don't even know if life is it's going to be sustainable for life.
Yeah.
The earth, the soil, you know, and that we say breathe the same air. You know, we've testified many times in DC on methane rule. That's all I've been doing. Yeah. And we brought in earthworks, we brought in all those, and we've sampled. We did everything to understand, you know, the CO2, all these things that are in the air that we're breathing, and how bad these well pads are that are not properly sealed and all that. It's really bad. And my husband, we were standing there one day at the Buffalo pad near Mandaree there, and only like 5 minutes he already had a headache. Yeah. And you could just see the emissions coming off of with the infrared camera that they use for the oil and gas. It was coming off so thick, you know. So, and all the air blows to Minnesota. I was telling Winona LeDuc that. She told me, she said, "Can you come and testify for me on the pipelines?" I said, "Sure." I said, so I and Candy Mossett testified for her. And I also gave a presentation on oil and gas, living with oil and gas, as being Native American at Minnesota State. And so I told her that. I said, all the air that's coming from North Dakota, it blows your guys' way.
Yeah.
So she's like, "Oh my gosh," you know. So you got to think about all that. You guys are taking in all the methane, all the, you know, hydrocarbon, all those things that are coming your guys' way.
That's true.
So,
but you have to be so proud because finally there's huge national attention. This isn't just a big thing here in North Dakota now, although this camp's amazing. There are thousands of people here, but people, celebrities are tweeting it all over now, all over the United States. Pharrell and Shailene Woodley, who was here, and Rosario Dawson, and all these celebrities now have also taken up the cause.
I'm very excited about that. You know, that's all we've asked is people to stand up, but it wasn't our people that would stand with us. The Mandan, Hidatsa, and Rikra. It took the Sioux nations to do it. Yeah. And although we've been fighting, you know, I call us the frontliners, the ones that really been in there to let the Army Corps of Engineers can't say they didn't know.
Yeah.
Because they knew, because we always been fighting from the beginning of oil and gas when it started 2008 around there or whatever. But it really concerns me if we don't get it under control, our tribe, our nations don't get it under control, everything's gonna die. We already know that with that 1 million gallon brine spill behind Mandaree. They never cleaned up. 2 years they never cleaned it up, and everything's dying back there.
Yeah.
Crestwood still hasn't been charged for that or held responsible for that.
Is there anything people can do?
There is things that people can do. Our tribe, we are our own nation, our own country. We can create laws. We can hold the industry accountable for what they're doing. We can. We have to enforce, though. You have to educate your people. That's what it comes on to, and we have to understand what is in these pipelines that they're transporting, and what is in the air that's being burnt from these gas flares. People have to understand what the contamination is, and it is contamination.
Yeah.
You know, so all it is education, monitoring, data.